Hi there. Hope you have a fantastic day today. This lesson, I will teach you continuous probability. Of course, there is a PDF versions on the description below for you to download so you can work with me. Otherwise, let's go straight into it. First one, to work out the value of I. So first of all, we know that f of x is a probability distribution. So therefore, we know that the area under the curve must be equal to 1. So the domain is from 0 to 4. So in another word, the area under the curve from 0 to 4 must equal to 1. So let's get into it. So the area I is integrate from 0 to 4, and the function is ix squared respect to x. So now what I do, I just integrate ix squared. So we integrate this. So 2 plus 1 is 3. So x to the power of 3, of course, we need to write down, and we divide by 3. So now from 0 to 4. So that is a. Now what I do now is just evaluate this by replace x with 4 and x with 0. So that will give me, so I can just take a over 3 out, makes it easier, that's all. So I'm just gonna take a over 3. So let me just write this down. A over 3, x to the power 3, 0 to 4. So that is exactly the same. So now let me just evaluate this. So that will give me a over 3. So x is 4. So that means 4 power 3. And we minus 0 power 3. And we know that 0 power 3 is 0 anyway. So that will give me a over 3. 4 power 3. So 4 squared is 16 times another 4. So 64. Otherwise, you can just use calculator. So 64 minus 0 is 64. So 64. So that is equal to 1. So in another word, 1 is equal to 64a over 3. Now to solve for this, I times 3 on both sides. So I want to get rid of this 3 there. So I times 3, cancel that. Of course, I need to do the same thing on the left-hand side. So 1 times 3 is 3. So that is 3 is equal to 64a. So to solve for a, I divide by 64 on both sides. Divide by 64, divide by 64. So that cancel out. So therefore, a is equal to 3 over 64. So there you go. Second one. So to work out this value here, this value of k, so in another word, we need to find the domain. And we know that for probability density functions, the area under the curve must equal to 1. So we just need to find the area under the curve. So area is equal to integrations of 1 over 64 x to the power 3. And of course, from 0 to k. Now, what I do, easier, I just take 1 over 64 out. Okay, if I take this out, so that is 1 over 64 integrate x power 3 dx from 0 to k. So that is exactly the same. So what I do now is I just evaluate from 0 to k. So what I do now is I just integrate x power 3. So that 3 plus 1 is 4. So that is x to the power 4, and we divide by 4. And of course, it's from 0 to k, and this is 1 over 64. So there you go. So what I do now is I can just take out the 4 out. So I just want to deal with whole number. I don't want to deal with fractions. So I take a quarter out. So that becomes equal to, so if I take a quarter out, so 64 times 4. So we double 64, give me 128. And we double again, so 256. So 1 over 256. Otherwise, of course, you can just use your calculator. A quarter times 1 over 64. So you should get 1 over 256. And in here, we're left with x power 4 0 to k. So now we just need to evaluate this, and we know that the area of a probability density function is equal to 1. So now that's just to solve for k. So now what I do, I just substitute the k with x power 4 and we minus 0 power 4. So 1 over 256 and then k power 4 minus 0 power 4. And we know that 0 power 4 is 0. I can just write like this. So now, so 1 is equal to 1 over 256 times by k power 4. So what I do now, I just times 256 on both sides. So times 256, we times 256 because we need to get rid of this. So now k power 4 is equal to 256. So k power 4 is 256. Now to solve for k, so we just go for root of 256. So k is equal to, so therefore k equal, I just put on a calculator. So I just go 4 roots. So that's 4 and then 256. So there you go. K is equal to 4. So therefore k is equal to 4. There you go. Please pause the video and try this one yourself. Hi there, I'm back. How do you go? So let me just go through them with you, okay? Before I do that, please do not forget to give me a thumb up and subscribe if you haven't done so you can help me to grow my channel. So let's get into it. So area is equal to, from 0 to 3, ax to the power 4 dx. So to integrate this, we have 4 plus 1, that give me 5. So that is equal to ax power 5 divided by 5, and then from 0 to 3. So what I do, I just take a over 5 out, so it makes it easier. So I take the a over 5 out. So that will give me x power 5 and from 0 to 3. So 0 to 3. And then what happened next is we just evaluate from 0 to 3. So that is equal to a over 5. So 3 power 5, 3 power 5, and minus 0 power 5. And we know that 0 power 5 is 0. So we can just put minus 0. And 3 power 5, I just put on a calculator. So I just go 3 power 5. So there you go, 243. So that is a over 5 times 243. And don't forget the area of a probability density function is equal to 1. So now to solve this, so that is exactly the same as 1 is equal to 243a over 5. So I times 5 on both sides. So I times this by 5. I times this by 5. So this cancel out. So on the left hand side, and 1 times 5 is 5. That is equal to 243a. So now I just divide by 243 on both sides. So divide this by 243. We divide this by 243. That cancel out. So therefore, a is equal to 5 over 243. So there you go. Last one. So we know that the area from 1 to 4 must be equal to 1, okay, for this function here. So we find the area of this first. That is 1 over 8x plus k, and it is from 1 to 4. And to work this out, this is of course respect to x. So that will give me 1 over 8 x squared divided by 2 plus integrate k, give me kx because k is a constant and it's from 1 to 4. So there you go. And then we know that this area here must equal to 1. And let me just simplify this a bit further. So that is equal to 1 over 8 times a half. So that is 8 times 2 is 16. So I can just write 1 over 16 x squared plus kx. And it's from 1 to 4. So now we just evaluate this. So now 1 is equal to, so 4 is replaced with x, of course, 1 over 16 times by 4 squared. 4 squared is 16. And we just write this down. And plus 4 times k is 4k. And we minus bracket. So of course, this is like 1 bracket. And minus x replaced with 1. 1 over 16 times 1 squared is 1. Plus k times 1, which is k. So there you go. So now let me just simplify this. And we know that these cancel out. That give me 1. So 1 is equal to 1 plus 4k minus brackets 1 over 16 with plus k. And we just simplify this further. So now we know that this one can cancel out. So now what I have left here is 4k. We minus k. So that is 3k. And now we have minus 1 over 16. So let me just write this down. Minus 1 over 16. So of course this becomes 0. So now what I do, I just move negative 1 over 16 on this side. Okay, so that will give me positive. So 1 over 16 equal 3k. So I'm going to divide by 3 on both sides. So I divide this by 3 and I divide this by 3. So exactly the same as times 1/3. So there you go. So this is cancel out. So I can just go 16 times 3. And we know that 10 times 3 is 30. 6 times 3 is 18. So add together 48. Otherwise, I can just use calculator. So let's just check it out. So I just go 1 over 3 with times 1 over 16. See, there you go. So 1 over 48. So therefore, k is equal to 1 over 48. There you go. I hope you got all of them correct. And thank you so much for watching. Bye.